What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on Fantasy Pros with a 10-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting 8th overall. Should be really interesting. Our roster: 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. But that's pretty much it. So let's get into this thing. And while we wait, a quick reminder: if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section, agree, disagree with any of these selections, along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let us get into this thing, and I'm going to pull up the draft board here. We're going to see what we are working with. So the first pick, Christian McCaffrey at the 101, followed by CeeDee Lamb, then Bijan, then Brees. I was really hoping one of Bijan or Brees would fall to me. Unfortunately, that does not happen. Oh well. Then Tyreek Hill, then Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. That top group of wide receivers. Kind of surprised that Justin Jefferson went ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown, who now is kind of the top overall player if we're going wide receiver. I also do like A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson a fair amount. If we want to go running back here, I'd be looking at Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley. I think one of those guys will fall to me, so let's see which one it is. And if that gamble paid off. So we went with Amon-Ra St. Brown, our highest ranked wide receiver at that point in time. I think at 108 was a good value pick, right? Then it was A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson. I mentioned both those wide receivers by name, said I really like both of them as options. Then it was Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 running backs to kick off the second round. And we get lucky here because we're in a spot. I think this is kind of the perfect spot in a 10-team league, the 108. Maybe the 107, but I think the 108 is a better spot on the turn to get one of these top-notch running backs still. And in this case, I'm going to land Saquon Barkley. Yes, we can land Puka Nacua, but I think Barkley is the better value at the position that we need to address more at this point in time. And for that reason, we will look there, and then we will see what we have available to us in the 3rd round. I think that's where it's going to get really interesting. So let's pull up the draft board yet again now. After we went Saquon Barkley, it was Puka, the highest ranked player available, followed by Marvin Harrison, then Devontae Adams, Kyren, Travis Etienne, Josh Allen at the 209. So they're your typical spot for the first top-tier quarterback to be selected. Then it was Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce to start off the first pick in the 3rd round. Then Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, Pacheco, Sam Laporta, Devon Achane, and Drake London. Boy, oh boy, I would have loved it if Drake London fell to us. That would have been an automatic pick, basically no hesitation. But right now, instead, I think if we want to go wide receiver, we still have some really solid options. The couple of names that I'm looking at are Pittman, Waddle, and Cooper Kupp. So right now, I think you could argue that Cooper Kupp warrants the selection with Puka Nacua being injured. Jalen Waddle is a little bit banged up right now, but it's nothing severe from the reports that I have read. And his week 1 status is not, in jeopardy. Pittman, he will take a bit of a back seat, I think, in his production compared to last year now with Anthony Richardson under center. That's just my 2 cents. And also you've added some other weapons there via the draft, right? So I think I've kind of talked myself into Cooper Kupp. And then in the 4th round, I'll go with, whichever running back is there. So Cooper Kupp's not even a nomination option. I will add him here. And let's roll with Cooper Kupp. So that's the selection. Let's see how many running backs go. No, in fact, it is some wide receivers and some quarterbacks that go instead. So we see Jalen Waddle and Michael Pittman immediately afterwards, both guys that I mentioned yet again. And then Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. I probably would have taken a chance on Patrick Mahomes at this point in time, like the 3rd pick in the 4th round. Again, I just want to show you guys a full round later than Josh Allen. These are the much better values. So instead, we are going to look elsewhere. We're going to build out a balanced roster here. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers to kick this thing off. We've already got Saquon, Amon-Ra, and Cooper Kupp. Question is, who do we want to go with? Do we want to go with Rashad, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs? I think that if we ignore that position, we're not going to have one of those guys fall to us. I do like Trey McBride, but I think this being a 10-team league, there's an outside chance that not Trey McBride, but Dalton Kincaid, who I don't think is too far off from, the Trey McBride kind of category, falls to us. So here I'm looking at Rachaad White. I'm looking at James Cook. If we wanted to go a wide receiver, I'd probably be between Nico and DJ Moore at this point in time. But let's address the running back position here. And I think I find myself being in between Rachaad and James Cook. I probably lean James Cook a little bit more because of, the offense he finds himself on. Ooh, and let's see what happened via this draft board if our gamble for tight end paid off. So we went with James Cook. Then it was, pretty much all those running backs we mentioned. Josh Jacobs, Rachaad White, Nico Collins, Mike Evans went the next top two ranked wide receivers. Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Debo, Lamar, Joe Mixon, DK, Stephon Diggs, James Conner. There goes DJ Moore, good value at the 506. Mark Andrews. So what happens here is we actually, I thought that there might be a chance that, Dalton Kincaid falls to us. Instead, Trey McBride himself falls, and I would have gone Kincaid, but, I already have James Cook, and Trey McBride is still available, so I think that's the easy selection at this point in time. Let's go with Trey McBride, and, Dalton Kincaid is still on the board. That won't be the case for much longer. So Devonta Smith, Malik Neighbors, Ramondre Stevenson, and Aaron Jones were selected. Looking at our cheat sheet now, I like guys like Amari, Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk, T. Higgins, George Pickens. I like all these wide receivers. If you wanted to go real high upside quarterback here, you would go somebody the likes of Anthony Richardson or a CJ Stroud. I also like a Joe Burrow. I honestly think I can land a Joe Burrow you could make the case in the next round, but I think it'll be close. Let's see how many teams have a quarterback. I bet you this is where the quarterback run starts. So 2 teams have a quarterback. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if in the 6th and 7th round you see those quarterbacks start to go, but I'm not the biggest Anthony Richardson believer. I think my mindset with Richardson has been, if you want to get the rushing quarterback, the high upside rushing quarterback, all right, Anthony Richardson is an option. Why not Jaden Daniels, a decent amount lower than Anthony Richardson? So to me, both similar type of skill sets, and I think that they can put up, a similar type of rushing yards. So I'd probably lean that way. I'm going to go with T. Higgins here. I want to get a potential stack. Dalton Kincaid is really nice, but I already have my tight end. I don't want to go so ballsy as to have 2 tight end flexes or 2 tight ends. Yeah, and of course we see the quarterback run, which, all right, that's fine. I expected as much. Yeah, so there you see it. CJ Stroud, Richardson, Kyler Murray, and there goes Dalton Kincaid, Joe Burrow. So all the top quarterbacks go. Christian Kirk, Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, George Pickens. We were kind of in a situation here that no matter where we went, the other guy that we were hoping for wasn't going to fall to us. So I think I just went with that position of wide receiver. I wanted to fill out that flex spot with a high upside guy. T. Higgins fits the bill. In the 7th round so far, Flowers, Pickens, Montgomery, Dak, Jalen Warren, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Swift. So again, like I said, I'm just going to stay patient in the quarterback position, looking at some of these wide receivers. Tank Dell, Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice is a solid option. Zamir White, if you want to go with, another running back here with some upside, starting running back, right? I'll go with Tank Dell, I think, here. I also like guys like a Deontay Johnson, a Calvin Ridley. Deontay Johnson is a little bit banged up right now. Maybe we go with a Calvin Ridley. Maybe we switch things up a little bit. We go with Calvin Ridley or Rashee Rice because Marquise Brown is also banged up. Rashee Rice, no word of suspensions as of yet. So I guess we can go with Rashee Rice. We can probably get Calvin Ridley in the next round. Let's see. Actually, no. He goes immediately afterwards. So Again, the two names we mentioned, Calvin Ridley, Tank Dell, we've been spot on with these wide receivers that we expect to go. Chris Godwin and then Keenan Allen afterwards. So Zamir White is still there, I believe. Yeah. I think at this point in time, like, it just becomes a decent value pick, right? A guy starting running back at this point in time. So let's just take Zamir White in the later rounds if we want. We can take a Jerome Ford. We can take a Jonathan Brooks. I'll go Zamir White. And the nice thing is here, we don't need to rely on him as a starter for us, right? That's the biggest thing. And I think that is really, really underrated. Jonathan Brooks did go, but that's all right. Chase Brown, Zach Moss, both of those guys still there. I think that, Jerome Ford. I'm going to go with Jerome Ford. I really like his upside while Nick Chubb is unavailable. And then once we get back to our next selection, I'll go with whoever is left between Chase Brown and Zach Moss. So Zach Moss, I believe, was just selected. Let's take a look here. Yeah, he was just selected. I might as well take a shot on Chase Brown. I think that, one of those guys, I don't think it's going to be a 50-50. I think that one of those guys at some point in time will kind of break out. I think that probably Zach Moss gets the opportunity earlier on, and then we'll see what he does with it. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. So I'm going to go Chase Brown here, kind of a stash pick, if you will. And then maybe we can go with our high upside quarterback in a Jaden Daniels, if you want to go that rushing quarterback, right? Jordan Love also a solid choice, but I'll go with Jaden Daniels. And then we will make one final selection and have this thing wrapped up. So typically what I do when I draft Jaden Daniels is I go with a veteran quarterback that I think can back him up well. But maybe here we go just with another wide receiver. Ladd McConkey's still there, but he's banged up, right? He's dealing, with a lower body injury. I don't think it's too serious, but, it could lead to some discounts. Curtis Samuel also not bad. Probably go Ladd McConkey here, and then you can pencil in one of these vets like an Aaron Rodgers or a Stafford, a Cousins later on. So let's kind of treat it that way here. I'm going to go with McConkey, kind of get a discount on him at this point in time. And then, if this thing was going around further, you could basically say, okay, we're going to have Aaron Rodgers. But I'm curious to see the grade that we get here. Let's see. I'm pretty happy with the squad. We get a B grade, just average, 86 out of 100. Our running backs, Saquon Barkley, James Cook. I really like our wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins. We got Rashee Rice and McConkey on the bench. I think we got a really good depth group of running backs with Zamir White, Jerome Ford, Chase Brown. We don't need all of them to hit. Like, even if one of those guys hits, we are great. And I think we got a top-tier tight end in Trey McBride. And with Jaden Daniels, you have a high-upside rookie. You can back him up with a veteran. So I really like this roster. But hey, let me know your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.